our next speaker, I'd like to invite Dr. Madhavi ji. Full name is Dr. Madhavi Kolhatkar. She's a retired professor, a scholar. She joined the dictionary department of Deccan College as a research assistant in 1973 and retired in 2010 as a professor. She is the author of 11 books, 94 research articles, 56 in English, 36 in Marathi, and 2 in Sanskrit, and 10 review articles. 2 of her books are currently in press, along with over 2 scores of articles, 11 in English, 9 in Marathi, and 2 in Sanskrit, all of which are ready for publication, and we look forward to them being coming out soon. She has also been a part of over 40 programs, talks, discussions, interviews, lessons, etc. of the All India Radio, Pune. So not only has she written, but she has also been featured in other mediums to get her message across. Today, as I mentioned earlier, her talk is on the title Dharmasankata, the episode of Madhavi, which also happens to be her first name. So over to you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Meghaji. Namaste all. Let me first congratulate the organizers of this symposium for having chosen this thought-provoking topic and thank them for inviting me to participate in it. There is one point I would like to mention at the outset. When I mentioned the title of my paper to Meghaji, I had in mind Madhavi, the daughter of Yayati. However, while searching for the references of the word Dharmasankata, I came across another episode, also about Madhavi, but it is Subhadra, the sister of Krishna. With this introduction, let me start my presentation. The word Dharmasankata is used so frequently and so casually, even in everyday talk by Indians. Generally, it is used in the sense of dilemma, a crucial situation in which one has to choose, at least between the two dharmas. What is the derivative meaning of the word? The word Sankata is registered by principal uptake as an adjective as well as a neuter noun, meaning a narrow passage, defile, pass. Second, a difficulty, strait, risk, peril, danger. Monier-Williams comment that this might be probably from Prakrut for some kruta, sankata, as is vikata, etc. Now the verb kata with the prefix some is not noted, at least in the dictionary. If it is to be derived from the verb, it is better to connect it with the verb cut in first conjugation, which means to go. I say this because there is one more cut also in the first conjugation, which means, according to principal uptake, to reign, to surround, and to encompass, cover or screen. The verbs having the meaning to go are used also in the meaning to be as well. Thus, then the word Sankata would mean the coexistence, group or crowd of more than one dharmas. The prefix some also has positive and negative connotations. When all the dharmas do not clash with each other, the prefix some denotes harmony. Whereas when they are together but clashing with each other, it leads to confusion in the mind of a person. He is puzzled and does not understand what is proper to be done, since the option weighs equal. This is to be understood as Dharma Sankata.
Madhavi ji,
yes.
Sorry to disturb you. Are you sharing your screen? Are you sharing a presentation? We can't see your presentation.
No, I don't have any presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry for that. It is mainly the references only. And I could not make, I'm sorry for that, I could not make. Yeah. So Vishwaji has dealt with the references in the CE, critical edition. There is one more in the interpolated passages, and it is important in this context. The reference reads, it is in the Adi Parva, appendix 114, and the line is 257, where the word occurs. So, Narayano hi dharmadnyo nanu buddhyeta vishwakrut Dharmasankata mapanne kimnu krutva shubham bhave Manobhavena kamena mohitam ma pralapinam prativakyam tume dehi kim na vakshyas Madhavi. The other two are dealt with in Vishwa's lecture. Now the verses which I read just now can be translated. Vishwakrut Dharmadnya Narayana, the creator of the universe and the knower of dharma, will not mind na anubuddhyeta it. Which act would be proper when there is Dharmasankata, the calamity of collision of clashing dharmas? I am deluded by Kama, the god of love, of the form of mind, and infatuated by the desire arisen in my mind. Oh Madhavi, I am talking to you. Please respond. Why are you not saying anything? Here ends the mere translation. Now, to understand the passage fully, it is necessary to see the context. The verses are from the passages interpolated after the 212th Adhyaya in the Subhadra Harana Parva in the Adi Parva, which reads, Tatas samvadite tasmin anudnyato dhananjaya gatam raivatake nyam ditva janamejaya. Since there is no finite verb in it, it is necessary to go to the second verse also, which is Vasudeva bhyanudnyataha kathayitva iti krutyatam krishnasya matam adnyaya prayayau Bhāratavarṣa. The translation is, after having such conversation and knowing that the maiden has reached Raivataka, Dhananjaya, that is Arjuna, asked permission to leave. Vasudeva told him what was to be done and how, and then allowed him to leave. Then that great Bharata, understanding what was meant by Krishna, left for Raivataka. A translation complete. It is necessary to know the background of the episode and the conversation referred to here. After Pandavas got the land of Khandava, they were living there happily together. Once the sage Narada came there, appreciated their behavior and advised them to keep the unity among them so that there would not be anything similar to the episode of Sunda and Upasunda. After listening to the episode of Sunda and Upasunda, the Pandavas made a pact among themselves there and then in front of Narada. That is, and the pact is, if any of us happens to see any other among us when he is with Draupadi, he should stay in forest observing celibacy for 12 years. Following the pact, the Pandavas were happily ruling the kingdom when the cows of a Brahmin were stolen and carried away by some thieves. Wild with anger, the Brahmin came to them and, demeaning them, demanded immediate help and rescue of the cows. At that time, as ill luck would have it, Yudhishthira was with Draupadi in the room where the weapons were kept. Thinking, may there be severe adharma, or my death in the forest, dharma supersedes the destruction of the body. Thinking so then, ready to face the severe consequences, Arjuna opted for law and order, entered the room, took the weapons and fought with the robbers, recovered the cows of the Brahmin from them and went to the forest for 12 years. He was on pilgrimage and visited so many places at that time. On his way, he came to Prabhasa and met Krishna there. They had nice time together and went to Mount Raivataka. At Krishna's behest, he was welcomed and well received there with respect. Then together with Krishna, Arjuna came to Dwaraka and enjoyed the stay there. Soon they visited Mount Raivataka for the celebration of a festival. While both were roaming, Arjuna saw Subhadra and instantly fell in love with her, which Vasudeva noticed. He teased him and told that she was his sister and can arrange something if Arjuna wanted to. Arjuna was very happy to hear it and asked what could be done. At that time, Vasudeva said that Swayamvara is one way, but it is dubious. He further told that even forceful abduction is allowed for a Kshatriya and advised to act accordingly. Yudhishthira also, when informed, approved of it. The story further reads, he mounted a chariot and being well equipped, reached the mountain under the pretext of hunting. Subhadra by that time had finished the worship of the mountain as well as of the deities. After circumambulating the mountain, she was about to leave for Dwaraka when Kaunteya rushed to her and forcefully placed her in the chariot and went to his city. The guards ran to Dwaraka to inform them about this calamity. Then all, the Bhojas, Vrishnis and Andakas, left the meal as it was and ran for the meeting. When they were informed by the chairperson what had happened, they were furious and unable to tolerate what Partha had committed, got prepared to attack him. Balarama saw it and said to them not to do anything without consulting Janardana. Everybody agreed to it. Then Kamapala asked Janardana, why are you silent now? We welcomed and honored Partha because of you, but he has broken the pot from which he ate. He has disregarded us and Keshava and has abducted Subhadra and has invited his own death. Now I will make the earth free of the Kauravas. I cannot at all tolerate this transgression by Arjuna. All those gathered there supported him. Now the interpolation, because the word occurs in the interpolated passage. It is already seen that the passage in which the word Dharmasankata occurs is in the appendix of the Adi Parva, which means according to the principles of CE, it is an interpolation. The concept of interpolation should be discussed here, at least in brief. As Professor Suktankarji has stated, these bewildering, I quote, these bewildering fluctuations in the text are quite unique, being peculiar to the Mahābhārata. They are not found in the manuscripts of the Vedic literature or in those of grammatical, philosophical or rhetorical texts of the classical poets and dramatists. This only proves that the Mahābhārata was peculiarly liable to inflation and elaboration. He further adds, when I say that the Mahābhārata manuscripts contain quantities of spurious additions, I intend no disparagement or consumption of the text or of the manuscripts. The process is normal, inevitable, and in a wider sense, wholly right. If the epic is to continue to be a vital force in the life of any progressive people, it must be a slow changing book. The fact of expurgation and elaboration is only an outward indication of its being a book of inspiration and guidance in life, and not mere a book lying unused and forgotten on a dusky bookshelf. Those are probably just the touches that have saved the Mahābhārata from the fate of being consigned to the limbo of oblivion which has befallen its sister epics like the Gilgamesh. I unquote. In this regard, I would like to say that the interpolations in a way are the first commentary on the epics. It applies to the present problem as well. It seems that the readers or listeners of Mahābhārata were not happy with the above version. It might be due to the abduction, which they might have thought does not suit Arjuna's personality. Hence, some lines were interpolated. So, they are in the appendix, which is added after the 210th chapter, which tells that Arjuna was thinking of Subhadra, wanted to get her, therefore underwent the initiation of Tridandi Sannyasa, the temporary renunciation, and was staying in the hollow of a banyan tree in the disguise of a yati. Yati is a ascetic. Moreover, quite a remarkable number of verses are interpolated after 212th Adhyaya. It starts with the description of Arjuna sitting on a stone in a beautiful garden full of various trees and thinking about Subhadra. And suddenly, just by chance, he sees Subhadra there with many others from her family. Seeing him there as a yati, they approach and pay homage to him and sit near him. Balarama is very pleased with him and tells Vasudeva to tell Subhadra to serve the yati with food, drink, etc. and whatever else he wants. He says, Nivedaya Subhadrayai madvakya parichodita bhakshaihi bhujyaischa panaischa anyaihi ishtascha. Vasudeva then takes the yati home and introduces him to his wives. His wives are pleased to welcome him. There, he tells the message to Balarama to Subhadra, message of Balarama to Subhadra, who promises him to satisfy the yati in every way. Arjuna passed his time happily with her, forgetting even about his brothers. Previously, Gada had told Subhadra about the birth and the strength of the Pandavas. Vrishnis used to bless their sons, saying, be brave like Arjuna. Due to all this, Subhadra was already attracted towards Arjuna. She asked Yati also about Pandavas and whether he has seen Arjuna. Gradually, he divulges the secret that he himself is Arjuna and further adds that he has understood her emotions towards him and he is attracted to her 100 times more than that. Both are yearning more and more for each other's company. Subhadra is in pain and is emaciated due to it. Then all her relatives together with Krishna and Rukmini decide that the two should be married and preparations are made accordingly. As a part of it, a festival of Mahadeva worship is arranged in the city to remove the affliction of Subhadra. That is, affliction by love, god of love. All have gone to Antadipa for the ceremony. Now, making sure that everybody has left the city, Partha takes Subhadra into confidence and says, Kanyayastu pita bhrata mata matula evacha pitrubhrata gurushchapi danetu prabhutam gataha mahotsavam pashupatehe drashtu kama pitahukaha antardvipam gato bhadre putrai pautrai bandhavaihi mamacha vijalakshi videshasthastu bandhavaha tasmat subhadre gandharvaha vivaha panchamo bhave. I will translate. The father, brother, mother, maternal uncle, paternal uncle, and also guru are eligible to give a maiden in marriage to the bridegroom ritually. But all of them are out of the city. Moreover, my relatives are also very far away in another country. So let us marry in Gandharva. It will be my 5th marriage, Panchama. You will see, it will be my beautiful marriage. I will talk about that Panchama later. Then he describes the various ways of marriage to her, the 4 having the fire as the witness and performed with proper religious ritual, and also the Gandharva form which is observed due to mutual attraction and also for the sake of having a son. It is without any ritual and takes place only because of love. And then he requests her, marry me today, which is a very auspicious day, O Madhavi, without any ritual. Here ends his talk. Now it is at that time that he utters the word Dharmasankata, the verse which we have seen before, which I will repeat here the translation. Vishwakrut Dharmajna Narayana, the creator of the universe and the knower of the Dharma, will not mind it. That means he will not mind if we get married in a Gandharva way. Which act would be proper when there is Dharmasankata, the calamity of collision of clashing dharmas? I am deluded by Kama, the god of love, the form of mind, and infatuated by the desire arisen in my mind. Oh Madhavi, I am talking to you. Please respond. Why are you not saying anything? The translation of the verses ends here. Then Vaishampayana tells us that having heard the words of Arjuna, there were tears in her eyes, and she did not say anything and kept on thinking of Janardana. Now it is necessary to see why Arjuna says that it is Dharmasankata. Which two dharmas are in conflict here, between which he has to choose? Obviously, for Arjuna, it is the dilemma of which way of marriage is to be followed. If he chooses the Rajamarga, that is to marry with the permission and in the presence of the elders in witness of fire, the Kuru lineage itself is kept continued by abduction of maidens in Swayamvara. Moreover, I will read a line before also. According to CE, it is solved by Vasudeva advising Arjuna to abduct and marry her, which is not an... Yes, sorry? Okay.
Nothing, Madhavi. Nothing.
Yeah. Which is not a new practice in Mahābhārata. Kuru lineage itself is kept continued by abduction of maidens in Swayamvara. Moreover, I think there is some more other purpose behind the composition of this episode as well as the interpolation. It might be a Dharmasankata for the readers and interpolators also to accept the prescription of abduction. Hence, they added the verses showing the love blooming in Subhadra's mind as well, which creates the ground for Gandharva Vivaha, which can be in the presence of the elders and also fire, but with mutual consent. And hence, the word Dharmasankata is interpolated, suggesting that they value the way suggested by Vasudeva also, and the first four kinds of marriage also, but prefer the one with mutual consent. However, the episode becomes extremely important when the beginning portion of the 213th Adhyaya is seen, which reads, Uktavanto yatha vakyam astakrut sarva vrushnayah tato bravit vasudevo vakyam dharmartha samhitam navamanam kulasyasya gudakesha prayuktavan sammanobhyadikastena prayuktoyam asamshayam arthalubdan navah partho manyate satvatan sada swayamvaram anadrusyam manyate chapi pandavaha pradanamapi kanyayaha pashuvat konumausyate vikrayam chapyapatyasya kak kuryat purusho bhuvi etan doshanscha kaunteya दृष्टवान इति मे मति अतः प्रसय्य रुतवान कन्याम धर्मेण पांडवः. The passage is very witty, as everybody can see. This is the answer of Vasudeva to those who have gathered there with the complaint against Arjuna that he has abducted Subhadra, even though he was extremely well treated by them. Vasudeva responds to it with these verses, which mean Gudakesha has not in any way showed contempt for our family. On the contrary, he surely has extremely honored it. He does not think that the Sattvatas are greedy for wealth, nor does he think that the practice of Swayamvara should be challenged. Here, I would like to add that Buchanan translates this sentence as, he, that is Arjuna, also judged that he could not win at the bridegroom choice. I don't think this goes whatever Arjuna is. I mean, it doesn't suit Arjuna's personality. I would, therefore, I had translated anadrishyam as should be challenged, not should not be challenged. And who will approve giving away the daughter in marriage as if she is an animal? Moreover, which man will sell his own child on this earth? I think Kaunteya saw these drawbacks in the present marriage system and hence abducted the maiden with force following the Dharma. Here ends the quotation. By this, Vasudeva and in his form, Maharshi Vyasa, as if challenging the marriage ritual itself. According to the Gruhya Sutras, there are 3 mandatory rites: Ashmarohana and thrice circumambulation of the fire. This is the first. The second is the Laja Homa, and third is the Saptapadi, taking 7 steps together. Without performing these 3, marriage is not considered valid. The word Kanyadana does not occur in the Gruhya Sutras. It occurs in the Dharma Sutras, in Vishnu Dharma Sutra, Baudhayana Dharma Sutra, and Vasishtha Dharma Sutra. The intellectuals in 21st century, both men and women, consider themselves ultra-modern in not having of Kanyadana and hence not performing it in the marriage ceremony. But see, how old is its reputation and rejection? The ancient Indian culture depicted in the great epic Mahābhārata is worthy of great applause, isn't it? Now I will come to the conclusions. Firstly, the word Dharmasankata occurs in the interpolated text of the Mahābhārata. It does not become clear what the 2 options are for Arjuna. If the interpolated passage is ignored and the CE passage is taken into consideration, the phrase Prasaya Haranam creates problem. Why does Krishna tells Arjuna to do so remains unanswered? Now Krishna's question, which is, who will approve giving away the daughter in marriage as if she is an animal, also needs more discussion. By saying so, Vasudeva, and in this form, Maharshi Vyasa is challenging the marriage ritual itself. According to the Gruhya Sutras, there are only 3 mandatory rites. Now, the 4th point, if Krishna is accepted as a divinity, then he must be having some particular goal when he advises Prasaya Harana. It should be thought of in various aspects, especially so since it is through Subhadra's son and grandson alone that the Kuru family is going to be saved and continued. The 5th point, having worked for the dictionary for long and hence being interested in defining the meanings of words, I think that the word Panchama also needs some special mention here. The meaning immediately comes to one's mind when one's mind is 5th, and then the meaning of the sentence would be, this will be my 5th marriage, as Arjuna says. However, if you go to Mahābhārata, the story of it, you come to know that till now, Draupadi, Ulupi and Chitrangada are his wives. So logically, it becomes the 4th marriage. I was puzzled by it. When I discussed the problem with my son Amit, he rightly advised me to check the meaning in Apte's dictionary. And lo, there are the meanings: dexterous, clever, beautiful, and brilliant also. I chose beautiful in the present context. You see, Arjuna has fulfilled the condition for Swayamvara and won Draupadi. There is no mention whether he was in love with her or not. Regarding the other 2, they the women made him marry them, Ulupi and Chitrangada. It is only in the case of Subhadra that he was attracted to her and ardently wanted to marry her. He is pleading her to marry him, and hence he is saying that if so, it will be a Gandharva marriage and a beautiful one. Friends, even though the meaning of some words seems obvious, especially to Indians, because of the common vocabulary, it is the duty of a scholar to verify the meanings from the dictionary, at least at the doubtful places, in order to bring out the as far as possible original connotation and enhance the veracity of the text. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you so much, Madhavi ji, for a very textually grounded, textually rigorous treatment of the topic. It complemented very well what Dr. Vishwa Adluri started off with, the references to Dharmasankata, and then you have taken it forward. And like an academician, you have correctly emphasized the need to be grounded in the text, in their actual meanings, while speaking on these topics, and that is very welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank
it was
you,
a
sir.
wonderful addition, the dimension that you added, your presentation is added. I'd also like to thank Dr. Adluri for suggesting that we invite you for this conversation, and we're so glad
Thank you so much.
We're so glad that we could have you. If there are any questions specific to Madhavi ji, I request that the questions be put in the Q&A box. People can type it, and we will take the question later. I don't see a question right now. We will take, if the question comes up, and Madhavi ji, if you're going to be around, if a question comes up, I'll maybe read it after the next session, so that we keep moving. At the same time, we address any specific question to your topic.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Wonderful. Once again, namaste. Thank you so much for making time and sharing a very academically grounded presentation on the topic. Thank you.